Hey, I've watched 100 movies in quarantine. Holy crap, I have way too much time on my hands. Yeah, so anyway, this is a big special. Yeah, get ready for me talking for 15 minutes. Probably just put me on the background while you're doing something else. But yeah, so you guys delivered. You gave me some really great examples and some not a great examples of really awful movies that you thought I should watch. And I will come back to some of them at a different time. But my buddy Josh, he came through and delivered a perfect one. He is a connoisseur of awful horror movies. He loves them so much. Low budget B movies, C movies. Just like he can find the best of the best, the worst of the worst. And he gave me one that he told me the premise, and I was like, oh. And I watched the trailer, and I'm like, yes. And then he himself said that he only got 30 minutes into it, and then he shut it off. I'm like, yep, no, this movie is perfect. The thing, though, is I am not going to show you the movie's poster, and I am not going to tell you the movie's name. Not because I want to keep it like this big mystery or anything. I just think this movie does not deserve any attention or recognition. It does deserve discussion, I guess. But like, it's not the worst movie ever, and it's not the most angry a movie has ever made me. But it's not good. Like, it doesn't deserve. Oh, I'm the best of the worst. Like, no, you're just dumb. Stop it. Um, and like, I'm gonna tell you the plot of it and stuff and lots of details. So like, if you're a good Google ninja, you could easily figure it out what this movie is. Um, and if you like message me that you think you figured it out, I will tell you yes or no. But if you ask me just point blankly if I can tell you the name of the movie, I'm not going to. Like, even on my Google sheet, I just have it as a black bar because it just like, after the movie was done, I was like, after the movie was done, I was like, hey, I want to pretend like I didn't watch that. Like, this isn't my 100th movie. It was just so bad. And like, kind of having that thought made me realize that, like, maybe, okay, yeah, this probably should be talked about, and it's probably one of the worst. Um, and actually, while laying in bed afterwards, really thinking about the movie, I was like, kind of saying the name, and like every time I did, I just got like this awful taste in my mouth. Like, we want to try to scrape the taste off with your teeth, and just like, it's not going away, and then like, I'd swallow the bad taste, and then just like line my esophagus. Like, that's what this movie is. It's such an awful taste in your mouth. It's all kinds of awful. Interestingly, though, I didn't actually put this as number 100. I didn't rank this as the worst initially. I put it at 98. Hair in my mouth. I put Tusk and Apache Woman worse than this one. But then, like, as I was thinking about it, I kind of thought about what I didn't like, what was bad about those movies, and then kind of wrote down some questions to kind of like compare and contrast the movies. So yeah, so let's jump right into it. This is definitely going to be 15 minutes. You probably can tell. I think you can see that. But yeah, this is a long one. So to start off, the basic premise is there is this black guy, race matters. In this discussion, there's a black guy who just got his doctorate. Real excited, he just got his doctorate. And he goes out to get some celebratory Slurpees for him and his girlfriend. And while at the convenience store, some hicks come in, murder the cash register guy, and then the dude calls 911, and the cops show up. It turns out they're racist, and then just decide to kill this guy because he's black. So the movie is oddly relevant, even though it came out within the last 15 years. I won't tell you the exact year it came out. It came out sometime in the last 15 years. And yeah, and then after that, so the doctor, he dies, and his soul gets transported into this racist doll he got from his best friend, who is this racist, sexist children's show host that I'll get into later. And well, in the soul of this doll, he goes around and kills a bunch of racists, which is pretty much everyone else you meet in the movie. So yeah, it's kind of like Chucky, just with a black guy killing a bunch of white racists instead. Okay, so first up, so comparing it to Apache Woman, which is kind of most of my basis for my questions. So the first question I have is this movie racist? Because Apache Woman was super racist. It was racist. It was incredibly racist. I won't get into all that stuff right now. If you want me to rehash that later, you just message me, whatever. But like, so yes, like this movie is about a black guy killing a bunch of white racists. Um, so initially I was like, well, it's kind of, trying to be like anti-racist, I guess. But at the same time, it's like, I don't think that's what this movie is. Because like really looking at it, so first off, his best friend, the children's show host, who's super racist, super sexist, he makes a line of dolls that are all racist stereotypes. Like the main doll is like of an African man in a loincloth, and he has like a bone through her nose, and he just says mumbo jumbo, and it's just clearly just an awful stereotype. And so the reason the best friend made all of these is because he's going to go to China and sell them over there and get stupid rich. Well, he does that, and he does get incredibly rich, and then gives money to his best friend, the doctor. So like, even though they're killing off all these other racists, it's being like, well, it's okay if you're racist sometimes, because if you can make money off of it, it's fine. If you can just play into stereotypes, it's not a big deal. It's easy. You're just taking advantage of people, playing off stereotypes and stuff. Like, that's fine, apparently. But then even going further, kind of looking at it, I think this movie is more just like a fantasy fulfillment type of thing, where it's just they wanted to be able to say the N-word as much as possible, and just like a bunch of other racial slurs as much as possible. And it being okay because, hey, we're filming a movie, we can say this because we're in character right now, so you can't be mad at us because, we're definitely not racist, even though we're saying all these really, really awful things. So yeah, so I'm gonna say yes, this is racist. The intent was racist. That's the way it definitely feels. Again, even though it is a black guy killing a bunch of racists, I think there is more sinister things behind this. So the answer is yes. The second question was, is this sexist? Holy shit, this question is just... Okay. Now, so besides the doctor, he has a girlfriend, and she's kind of more so the lead, I guess. Because she's like, because the puppet can't talk at all. She can talk, so she kind of does a lot of heavy lifting. But like, so like I said, the Hicks killed the actual store clerk, and they're going around killing a bunch of racists. And so at some point they need to figure out how to find these Hicks so they can kill them. Instead of her doing like any detective work or anything reasonable, she's just like walking down the street one night, gets jumped by these Hicks, and then they proceed to rape her. Yeah, which I would definitely go along the lines of this is definitely fantasy fulfillment again, because it's not, how do I say this? It's just not done in a way. Like, if you're ever thinking about putting a rape in your story, don't, because you're just gonna come off in the wrong way. It takes, like, rape is something that definitely needs to be discussed and talked about, but you're probably not nuanced enough to do it in a way that's good. And yeah, this is definitely just the actors / creators just wanting to have some rape fantasy. And then what makes it worse is right after she gets raped, she goes back home to the puppet boyfriend and gives him the keys she stole from one of the rapists, because they're going to find the apartment that way where they live. And as soon as that happens, that just like fades back up, and she's in the shower. We see her breasts, so we're immediately sexualizing her. Like, there's no reason for us to be seeing her naked right now. She was just sexually assaulted. And then to make it way worse is the boyfriend puppet sneaks into the bathroom and then just starts masturbating to completion. Like, right there, right? She was literally just raped, and here you are very clearly sexualizing this sexual assault victim. And it's like, yeah, no, if they're really not trying to walk around this issue. They definitely wanted that sexual assault to be sexualized. Um, so yeah, no, this movie is definitely sexist. There's also like a prostitute later on in the movie who's just wearing just a thong and dancing for like half the movie, and she serves no point other than I think they just wanted to hire a stripper and have a stripper on set for a few days, because you know that's fun. And then they had made the company pay for it by having her be included in the story, because it definitely totally makes sense for her to just be there. Yeah, no, it's dumb. Was this movie shot competently? Was my next question, because the other ones weren't. Other movies weren't. I mean, you could see everything. It was definitely lit, and there was, I guess, some kind of dynamic lighting, kind of like how I am right now, where it's like bright on this side, dark on this side. Um, but then, like, also all of the camera shots, it's like they didn't have a tall enough tripod. All the shots were up at an angle like this. It's not even like from the puppet's point of view. It's literally just like a regular conversation, and it's just like we're looking up everyone's noses. And I don't think they knew what they were doing. So the answer is no. I don't think this movie was shot competently. Was it boring? Yes, so boring. I wanted to leave. I wanted to stop the movie and just walk away. I was playing on my phone for a big part of it. At one point, I even pulled out this Springtrap. This is a little classic board game. Kyle, I guess, got me, or got the group. If you don't know what this game is, you're trying to like take the little bits out as the spring comes down, and it's like, ooh, is the spring gonna get you or something, or is it gonna explode? The game's dumb. The game's so awful. The game's the worst. It's so boring and terrible. It's made when board games, people didn't know how to make board games, and yeah, that board game was better than the movie. The movie is just so dull and so awful, and like not even the kills aren't interesting. A lot of times I was just like, I don't even care. I want to look away just because I'm just like, I don't. This is dumb. Because most of the time, most of the kills were the little racist doll like stabbing people in the eye or stabbing people in the forehead or something, and it was dumb. And then the last question was, did I hate myself for watching this movie? Yes, so much so. Like I said, I wanted to pretend like I didn't see like this, that I didn't watch it, that this movie didn't exist, that didn't happen, and just it was God, I hate everything. Just even thinking about it makes my mouth taste bad again. And it's just, if you do figure out this movie, if you're really intrigued by this and you do figure it out what this movie is, I would say don't watch it. Just don't. Just really don't. You're doing yourself a disservice by watching this movie. Again, I don't think it's the worst movie ever, and it also hasn't made me the most angry out of every movie. But like, it's so bad. And just, yeah, so I ended up putting it as number 100. It's 100 out of 100 as last. Put in the didn't like category, but really it's in the hated part of didn't like. And shoot, I don't actually remember. I don't remember if I said this yet or not. But I didn't actually put the name of this movie down on my list. I put a black bar there instead. Because I don't want this movie to taint my list, even though it's not like the most amazing thing, my list. It just doesn't deserve any recognition, doesn't deserve anything good about itself. It's dumb, and I hate it, and it's the worst, and I want to just be over with it and never think about it again. But it's probably going to haunt my dreams for the rest of my life. Yeah. Well, so thanks for watching. I know this was long and I rambled. It's me. That's what I do. I hope you enjoyed. I will continue to watch more movies as quarantine continues. And just regular life, because that's just who I am. I watch lots of movies. So yeah, hope you're having a better day than I did when I watched this movie. Yeah. Okay. Bye.